Okay, hello everyone. So today I'm going to present to you my teaching kit, which I will be using in my language arts class with my year 3 students. Okay, this will be very useful for teachers who wishes to incorporate literature, okay, and language arts to their students, okay, to make learning English more fun and engaging. Okay, so what I have chosen here is the Carpe Diem poem. Okay, as you can see from my screen here, okay, for me, Carpe Diem is one of the most simplest element of poetry that can be used to teach lower level students. Okay, for example, here I want to use this Carpe Diem poetry for my year 3 students. Okay, so as we all know, the Carpe Diem poetry consists of the parts of speech that the students must know first before constructing this poetry. Okay, so in the first part of the lesson, which is the pre-lesson, before we start teaching the Carpe Diem poetry, we teach our students how to identify the parts of speech first. Okay, so the first activity in the pre-lesson would be to write the words related to the parts of speech. So if you are the teacher, okay, as the teacher, you can do a brainstorming activity with your students. Okay, so here I included, if you are doing it your class online, you can use the Google Jamboard, or in the physical class, you can draw an I think mind map or a graphic organizer for the students to participate and think of any part of the speech. Okay, for example, the teacher would start with the nouns. So I would ask the students to give the example of the nouns through the whiteboard. Okay, so urge the students to find out about the nouns. Okay, revise about the nouns. Okay, so the students basically, because they are in year 3, they would surely know what are the nouns. So this will be a revision for them to prepare for the Carpe Diem poem. And also the verbs. Okay, so the verbs here also if parts of the speech needed to create the Carpe Diem poetry. But be mindful, the verbs here must be in form of the ing. Okay, the ing means the gerund, or the progressive form of the verb. And lastly, the adjectives. Okay, the adjectives, the third one that is important in this Carpe Diem poetry. Okay, so this is one of the example. Okay, let us look at one of the example of the Jamboard that I have created for my students. So I would open this hyperlink. So I'll copy paste the hyperlink, and then we can see how even online class the students can brainstorm using the Google Jamboard. Okay, so as you can see here, the students can participate using the link that I have given to them. So they write the nouns here inside this box. Okay, this Jamboard here. So for example, here I've typed in the answers already. Okay, so the teacher as an optional, okay, to assist the students, especially the beginner level of the students, the teacher will type in first, okay, an example for each part of the speech. Okay, after you have done, okay, we go to the next one. So now you, the teacher, okay, will introduce the topic. Okay, so we are after learning about the parts of the speech, you start to introduce what you are going to teach. Okay, the Carpe Diem poem. So the lesson development would be to teach how the Carpe Diem structure is constructed. Okay, how do we write the Carpe Diem poem? Okay, so there's many ways, but for me, okay, I use the direct teaching method by lecturing, or you can create a video or find some videos that easy for the students to understand. So you lecture the students on how to create the Carpe Diem poem. So the Carpe Diem poem, so each of the levels, okay, as we can see here in this worksheet. So each here, the level consists of the noun at the top, the adjective at the second level, the ing verb at the third level, the adjective again, and lastly the noun. Okay, so after we have taught the students how to write the Carpe Diem poem, we now provide the students with the practice worksheet. Okay, so there is a guided practice worksheet. Okay, so we have the pre-answers here in this worksheet. So the students have a clue on how to create the diamante poem. Okay, so once the student have practiced the worksheet, okay, the last step in the lesson would be we ask the students to construct their own diamante poem. So the teacher can use the similar worksheet but with no answers at all. Okay, with no answers at all. So the students now can think of their own, okay, their own diamante poem. So here there is a blank worksheet. So the students start from scratch. Okay, one of the is the an easier way or to assist the student who are the beginner who can understand. So the teacher can provide the theme or the topic, okay, the topic to the students, so they have at least some idea or some scope in which they write the Diamante poem. Okay, for example here, okay, if the teacher want to teach the topic of animals, for example, so surely the noun here would be animals. Okay, the noun here would be the animals. So the students will write the animals in the noun blank noun space here. So all of these will be involving animals. But alternatively, if the teacher thinks that the students are advanced learners, they can use, okay, they are free to express their ideas freely. Okay, now we go, let us look at the lesson plan. Okay, an overview of the lesson plan. Okay, as you can see here, my lesson plan, you can see the content standard and the learning standard in which As a teacher, we have the content and learning standard that the students will be able to acquire after the activity. Okay, not only the main skill which is the language art, but the complementary skill too. Okay, so the first one here to categorize words into three parts of speech. So after they learn the poem, which consists of the three parts of speech, they are able to master the three parts of speech and are able to write or construct one basic and simple Carpe Diem poem based on the topics learned. Okay, so what they learn during the year, okay, regardless of any topic, they can construct a poem. Okay, now lastly, okay, this one, okay, similar to the one that I have presented. Okay, let's look at some of the justifications of why I feel that this Diamante poem is very useful for teachers to teach their students, especially when it comes to beginner level students. Okay, so in the pre-lesson, I said that the IT map that I've drawn just now will help the students to learn about the parts of speech. Okay, the IT map, okay, it helps the students to be engaged, okay, be active in class. Okay, they can think of the grammar items. Okay, also to prepare for them to learn the Diamante poem, the topic that they will be learning, especially in language arts. Okay, so pre-lesson is very important when you are introducing the elements and the rules of the poem itself. So, for example, if you are creating a poem, a rhythmic poem, so you have to introduce what rhymes in at the end of each line of the poem, right? Okay, so here you can see. So as you know, the I think map is one of the elements in which the 21st century learning is embedded, and also it helps uh, for the higher order thinking skills of the student since they think out of the box. Okay, they think of other nouns, verbs, and adjectives that they have learned or read somewhere else. Okay, and this activity, the mind mapping in the pre-lesson is also a student-centered approach. Okay, because the teacher is making the students think what they know about the past of the speech. Okay, next. Okay, by using the whiteboard or the interactive board, okay, okay, they use the whiteboard, the interactive board like the PowerPoint to teach the pupils how to write the poem. Okay, so the whiteboard will be helpful for the teacher to instruct, okay, to give the direct instructional model for the students, okay, to learn how to write the Diamante poem. Okay, and while ongoing, the lesson development or the lesson delivery is going. Okay, so the teachers can also engage in discussion and the Q&A session. So instead of the teacher teaching the students, okay, so during the delivery lesson, the students may participate actively inside the classroom while the teacher is delivering the uh, the delivery of the lesson. Okay, and to conclude this session, so the worksheet with the pre-answers will help pupils to practice and apply. So as I shown just now, so the teacher gives some of the answers in each line where the part of the speech contains there. So it will help the student to master the master how the Diamante poem works. And lastly, to ensure that the students master fully, okay, they are able to create their own and engage in their creative to fulfill their creative thinking. So the teacher will ask them, the students, to create their own Diamante poem. Okay, it's also same as when we do a writing exercise, right? So we want the students to create their own, to construct their own Diamante poem as an evidence that they have fully mastered the skill in creating the poem, okay, writing their own piece. So here the same worksheet given is a blank. So see, because of the structure that is the same, okay, the worksheet that is given the same, so the teacher can modify the same worksheet. Okay, so you give the blank sheet to the pupils, so the pupils will start from the beginning. So once they complete, okay, they hand in their work. Okay, this is also helpful for the teacher to evaluate the students assessment, okay, to evaluate the students performance inside the classroom. Okay, so instead of giving the normal worksheet or exam, okay, this is a good way in which the teachers uh, can assess or evaluate for the school-based assessment or the classroom-based assessment for their students. So, in conclusion, in my opinion, this Diamante poem overall is a very good way in which we as teachers can interact, can engage, and make learning English grammar, in terms of grammar, in terms of vocabulary that at first we think all the students who might think it maybe become boring, but because we introduce it in a fun and engaging way, so the students will be interested in learning more about the language and practicing it, okay, due to their enjoyment and in the learning process. Okay, I think that's all from me. So hope this will be useful for us teachers, okay, for all of you teachers to make use in the future and improvise to make your teaching and learning process more fun and engaging. Okay, thank you. So that's all.